Hey, my laserers and laserettes. It is Walker and Tim at Full Spectrum Laser, and welcome to Laser Talk Live, where we go live every week and we learn about lasers and cool stuff about lasers. Yeah?
Yeah, well, as I was going to say, I mean, like, we teach people about lasers.
Yes, we teach. We are teachers, educators.
Yeah.
We're certified.
Although teaching is a great learning experience. So.
Oh.
I don't know, something like that. Whatever.
All right.
I'm not a teacher.
Well, today we are talking big builds. We have our big build that we're building, and it's real big.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? And then we have weekend builds, Tim's weekend build, because mine wouldn't load onto the drive. So
Whoops.
that's cool. Next time. And we have materials with Michaela.
A brand new segment.
Brand new segment. Michaela's been here for a while. She does a lot of awesome graphic stuff for us, social media stuff, and she has not been on camera yet. So what we decided to do was make her own segment about materials. We're going to cover, you know, our plain materials, kind of acrylics, woods, papers, glass, and then we're going to go deep into specialty Romark stuff with tips and tricks, all kinds of stuff. So today will be the first time we show that segment.
Yep.
And then finally, we're going to show a how-to-do, like a how-to-do. We're going to do a lot more segments like this, how to do this, how to do that, just to help you guys up your laser game, up your projects, and potentially profits.
Yeah, it's going to be a little less of what we've done in the past, which is mostly just like showing you the process like really quickly and not really going into detail. This will be a more detailed, like, hey, this is what you do, this is how you do it, specifically kind of step by step.
Step by step. We're also going to include pricing, that stuff. So how much did this actual project cost you? This and that. And that full video will be out this Friday. We're going to show you the majority of it without the wings and dings today.
Right.
So let's jump into it.
What are we jumping into first?
Not the software. We are going to talk about big build.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Big builds.
Oh, jeez. Okay. We're just going to...
What are you doing? Making stuff. Thanks, Tim, for keeping that in the shot.
You are absolutely welcome. Held on it for as long as I possibly could.
Oh, man.
So what's going on here?
So-
I mean, we showed the kind of end product of this last week, but we had literally just done it right before the show, so the footage wasn't really compiled yet. So
Yeah, so we're just vector marking and cutting our giant controller table right there.
Yep.
And getting it ready.
very nice.
Lots of vector marks, vector cuts. Again, vector marks are just weak vector cuts that haven't cut all the way through. And they're mostly for marking and kind of putting designs on there without having to engrave the whole thing.
Right.
Like line art.
And this is something that we did after last week's show, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
So I wanted the actual controller table to be not so functional, but it does have some playability. Is what the action figure guys say, right?
Sure.
Sure.
Articulation.
Yeah. So I created a kind of rocking mechanism. If we scroll down here, we'll get rid of it. This will essentially rock, kind of like the old school controllers. It won't have super rock, but I wanted it to do something, right? And then these guys will be cup holders.
Excellent.
So essentially you'll have the inside cup holder and then another cup holder you can put over here.
So it kind of works like a coaster.
Yeah, it's a coaster, cup holder, whatever. You just don't want your surface getting ruined, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
These guys will pop in and out. And again, the file will be available as soon as we're done. We need to focus on this, Tim. I think you need to take over this project.
Why do I need to take over this project?
I'm just kidding, just kidding. All right, that's
I mean,
it.
you know, I'll do it.
Scroll back down. Up, I mean. Thanks, Michaela. So Michaela's our camera lady today.
Yep.
And I think, speaking of Michaela, it's time to check out Michaela by the 48. And we're talking acrylic today.
All right.
Yeah?
Thanks, Walker. Today our material of choice is acrylic. And we'll be running this on a 90-watt machine. This will be set on a power of 85, a current of 75, and speed of 60%. Now all we have to do is get our lid closed to get the job running. And it's that easy. And now, due to the power of modern technology, present to you our finished project. Live, laugh, love. It's that easy.
Thank you, Aubrey Plaza. I mean, Michaela.
Very informative.
Very informative. We're going to start doing more power settings stuff. So we got a lot of questions. Power settings for this, power settings for that. I love that question, but we get it all the time. So we're going to have more segments like that, and we're going to segment them so you can get exactly what you need. You don't have to search through the video. It's just going to be power settings for acrylic. And we'll just have power settings chart, not even a chart, video segment, like a folder in the YouTube. So I think that will be a lot of help for everybody who always asks that question.
For sure.
I think it's going to be awesome.
I think so.
What, we have another build. Can you want to just show off your weekend build right now?
Yeah, we can.
Since mine didn't load?
To Weekend Makers. All right, so I showed this off last week a little bit. I think we ended with the file that I was going to cut.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually have footage here of it actually cutting. Sped up. I think it's at like 1,000.
Is there music to this?
No.
It's just us talking.
Yeah, it's just us talking.
Oh, okay. It's like music.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's so satisfying. It's funny, actually, I put this on Reddit, and that's like everyone's comment is how satisfying it is to watch. Which I would agree.
Of course. I've been here how many years and still love to watch it.
Love watching it go. So there's a somewhat canted picture of it done.
It's sideways.
This is a little bit sideways, and then here it is on the side of the desk where it was meant to go. So there's another one on the other side, and that's going to be backlit and painted and everything. So that's just kind of like the initial. It's not even attached. We just kind of set it up there for the picture.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it backlit.
Me too. I'm excited.
So how many hours are you into that project so far?
Oh man, probably like over 20 hours, I would say. And that's
a good build.
it's a sizable build. It's mostly, a lot of it's been like brainstorming because we kind of had a plan, and then we've kind of had to like shift depending on certain factors. So
now my question is, are we cutting metal for it?
I mean, I think if we were gonna cut metal, that was the thing to cut. So
Not the top? We can't do like a top?
we could do a metal top. That would
And like
actually
metal?
be really, really cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice and solid and flat and clean.
Yeah.
I think we should do that. Add a different laser to it. Just
All
check
right.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We can even use a fiber laser and engrave the metal,
Yeah. I'm with it.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
That will be, I guess we should just do weekend builds until you're done with your project.
Yeah, probably.
Nice. It's kind of like another big build.
It is, yeah. Well, it was
But
funny
we-
because I kind of used big builds to incorporate this most recent weekend build of mine. So I wasn't sure if I was going to laser anything, and then we kind of started talking about doing that, and I was like, maybe I can.
I say we should always, like, excuse to use a laser, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what happened. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to do like a large scale,
Yeah.
laser job.
Well, I'm excited to see how it turns out and help you build it.
Me too. We got some comments.
Oh, yeah, let's go in the comments. My Facebook isn't working.
So Joy McCalvin says, hey. Wendy
Hey, Joy.
Williamson Watts also says, hey.
Hey, Wendy.
John Dezel says, hey, guys.
What's up,
Jeff
John and
Hayes
Jeanette?
says, hello.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello, John.
Hello.
Joshua Cornish says, hi, guys. My
What's up,
mom,
Josh?
and I'm assuming dad as well, says, hi, Tim and Walker.
Tim's
Jeanette
mom.
says, hi, guys, or should I say laser masters? You should say that.
Vroom, I don't know. Should.
Alan Reiniger says, good afternoon, Walker and Tim. Walker, nice meeting and talking to you on Monday.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it was nice meeting you, Alan. That was random. I didn't expect him to be on live. He said he never joined us live, so thank you.
There you go. And then Joshua Cornish is very excited about the prospect of our how-to videos. He says, detail, cool, longer FSL episodes.
I'm glad to hear that. The how-to videos are going to be really awesome, I think. I think it's just next level kind of evolution into really, because we always show how-to, but we don't go in depth a lot.
Right, it's more just like a surface, like here's us doing it, not really explaining what we're doing.
Exactly. Like I feel like the gauntlet for the Batman thing, like if we actually talked about how to bend the acrylic and all that, like we'll go into more detail. I think maybe next week we'll do how to bend acrylic.
Renee also says, weekend builds can take longer than a single weekend. No rules should apply for weekend builds. I agree.
I do agree. Just make sure that Google uploads it fast enough. Yeah.
Right. Carrie Martin says hello.
Hello, Carrie.
Debbie McClellan says hi from Oregon. And then Brent Poole says hello from Kansas. So we got
Goodness, we got a
people
lot of
from all
people
over.
joining us.
It's great.
That is very cool. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome to the family.
So, speaking of doing our how-to videos,
Yeah.
this is kind of our first pass at the first one. So if you want to go ahead and
Yeah, so we're showing you how to make your own chocolate bar with a laser.
boom, a
Boom.
Walker bar.
Of course. I thought Wonka was a funny name, so I made it an even funnier name.
So there it is. That's not actual chocolate. That's
No,
painted acrylic.
this is the buck. So you laser cut this, you mold it, cast it in chocolate. And what's really cool about this process is you can make tons of these, lay them out, and make a sheet of 12 of them and run all at once, like mini production in your house. I think it's a very cool idea. If people want this file, for sure. I mean, you can put whatever you want on top. Live, laugh, love into the chocolate bar. And
Perfect.
perfect. And yeah, do whatever you want. I'm hoping a lot of people do this project because I think it's really interesting to have your own chocolate bar. Even if somebody who doesn't have a laser, which I don't know why you're on the show, but you can like literally make these with, by hand, maybe cut EVA foam, do the whole process as well.
Very similar process.
It
So
won't be
this
as
does
clean.
kind of require like an extra laser process, like a process outside of just lasering. But
Yeah, that's the
we-
best kind though.
We get into that. So let's just jump into it.
All right.
So here we are, doing a really deep engraving on that.
Does it look like I'm looking at it? No.
Not quite.
no.
Other way. There you go. Little,
Wow.
Yeah, perfect.
That's awesome.
And I'll just be like, oh man.
So I engraved around the name And then I vector marked these lines. I don't know what chocolate bar I found with those lines on it.
Yeah, there's some.
There's a couple, right?
I know, like, I think, is it the Hershey Symphony
It might
that
be.
has those, I think?
It might be a fancier kind. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I thought it looked good.
So now he's cutting his mold walls, which will come in handy in a little bit.
Which I don't think, this is so overlooked. But before I had a laser, this is such a pain.
Yeah,
This is like so annoying to do without a laser.
absolutely.
Like you build a clay wall and then it's real ugly, or you like rubber
do
band pieces of wood.
I always used to do soldering, and just score it and break it. But like the edges are never perfect, and you just have to load it up with hot glue to make it watertight. And doing this just saves you so much time.
Now this, I took the blowtorch and it works a lot better with clear acrylic, but the color acrylic, it still works pretty good. I take the blowtorch and kind of melt the plastic a bit, kind of round those edges.
Yeah, soften those edges just a little bit.
Soften the edges, and then the engraving doesn't look so engraving. You can also take your laser head out of focus and kind of get the same look. I think it's interesting when you heat up acrylic, it like bows and then goes flat.
Yeah, it's funny when I sped that up, it almost looks like it's breathing.
Yeah. And now I'm just gluing the pieces together. Acrylic glue, like acrylic and super glue, is like that.
Instant.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it and I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be really precise. One of the things that I really like to use is the I don't know if you use the brush tip super glues.
Oh, yeah.
I really like using those because you don't need a whole lot of super glue, especially if it's two flat pieces of
Oh,
acrylic.
yeah. See, at this point, I was like running the camera and gluing and all stacking, and it was like super off. It was so off, so I had to like, at one point you see me grab the mallet.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Perfect.
And I picked green acrylic because it's easier to see.
Yeah.
I mean, you can use clear,
Yeah.
and it
Anything, really.
honestly melts a lot better, but it's easier to see. And then the mold walls, clear just makes sense.
Right.
You can see it go in, and it just works really well.
Now we make it not clear in a second, but that's mainly because we didn't have clear.
Yeah, we
clear
didn't have
coat.
clear coat. Make sure you glue this guy down. If you don't, the silicone after you pour into it will seep into
Go
the
right
little
on.
edges, and you'll have undercuts that you need to clean.
Yep.
Which is what happened.
You always make sure that your edges are totally watertight. Silicone is not cheap, typically.
No, I think the trial kit we used was $33, and it was just enough to do this project.
Yeah, and you don't want it leaking out the side and wasting all that.
No,
So
I've done that plenty of times.
Here we just use it's just a paint and primer. It was just a random color that we had. Typically, you'd want to just use like a clear coat.
Yeah, clear coat would have done the job a lot better than this, because this was actually like a matte.
Yeah.
This was a matte, so it helped hold on to the silicone after we poured it, and it was not fun. So clear coat is the way to go. And then you can also spray like a Crisco, or like the Pam.
Yeah, like a release.
The Pam, they have spray waxes. We used Dragon Skin 10.
You can also just use water and soap.
Yeah, water and soap, I've heard that too, but I didn't want to soak it in water.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying because you have to wait. You kind of have to wait for it to evaporate.
Yeah.
That's like in a pinch, kind of.
Dragon Skin is pretty awesome because it's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right.
And it's not by weight, it's just by looks.
Right.
I mean, you could obviously weigh it, but it's just like, okay, it's this much and this much, they're close, and then start mixing them.
Dragon Skin's a platinum cure silicone, and it's just kind of like a higher quality silicone, typically platinum cure to tin cure.
Yeah, I would say old versus new. Yeah.
I do like Tincure though. It has its benefits.
It has weaknesses though.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. That is
Actually, I typically use like GI 1000, which is like a strictly like mold making silicone.
That's like industrial silicone, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot more dense than Dragon Skin is.
I haven't worked with silicone in a while. I found it kind of like I'm so worried of messing it up. I don't want to.
Right.
And at this point, I'm pouring right into a corner. You don't want to pour directly onto your project because it's going to start capturing bubbles.
Right.
And it already had so many bubbles in it from mixing it. You're supposed to pour it, and as it streams, make the smallest stream possible so those bubbles break up as it's going in.
Right.
It wasn't too big of an issue. See, now I'm going crazy because it's already covered the piece.
Covered, right. Yeah, you typically want to be as high as possible so you get a really, really thin stream. Also, if you have the resource, vacuum chambers.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's ideally what you want to do.
That's like next level stuff.
Right.
They also have non-vacuum silicones.
Oh, very nice.
So it doesn't have like bubbles issues. And of course we didn't use release agents, so it was a total pain to take apart, but
silicone's super resilient.
it is. And you see the buck being released. And we have our positive and negative. And that chunk of silicone is what we're going to pour the chocolate into.
Yep.
Nice and flat. It's a nice thick mold. We're not going to, like, you can see cleaning the undercuts.
Right.
But we don't have to have like a mother mold to hold that shape. It will hold its shape.
Right.
Just because it's so thick.
One of the cool things about silicone is it's really hard to tear. I mean, it's easy to tear, but it's hard to like tear through something because it does something that's called self-terminating, where the tear will just go right to an edge as quickly as possible. Which is kind of a cool effect, chemical effect.
To be continued.
And then
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
and then
Oh.
Don't walk away from your laser there, folks.
So this is what happens when you walk away from your laser.
This is what can happen.
This is what can happen. So, all right, let's cut that.
I don't know, man. It goes on for a while.
Yeah, let's not show that. So when you forget to turn on your air, this happens.
Yeah.
Fires do happen. You're vaporizing material. I walked away from the camera being too confident. And I was actually talking to Alan at the time, who is joining us. And yeah, that was happening while I was filming. And then the other guy said, freaked out, poured some water on it, which is fine. Nothing's damaged. Everything's good. But I figured it was a great example, whether it's bad or not, to never walk away from your laser, because this could happen and it could damage a lot of things.
Yep.
Lasers are focused heat. This will happen. A lot of people, you'll see, I mean, if you look up other companies and their lasers, they're just plastic melty messes because somebody walked away from it. And they always say, you know, I blinked my eyes and then it was on fire, you know. That's never the case.
Luckily, our laser is in a warehouse that gets a decent amount of foot traffic, so somebody saw it and was able to stop
and
it.
it's all metal.
Right.
Fires do happen. We want everybody to be careful. Always cut the right materials. There are unsafe materials to cut.
There are.
So avoid that. Always watch your laser, because these things do happen. Even when you think you're an expert and you do it all the time and you're like, whatever, I'll walk away. It'll be done in 5 minutes. That happens.
That's when it happens.
Yes, that's when it happens.
It'll never happen when you're standing there.
No. Also, when, like, it's happened to me where I have some material in the catch of my Pro laser.
Oh, yeah.
Or it could happen on a Muse too, if there's material in between the honeycombs that's just sitting there. Essentially you have kindling that's just sitting there waiting for an out of focus laser to hit it, start a flame.
Yep.
So that is what not to do, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that's why I put it in there.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.
Show my failures.
Well, I mean, failure is also a great teacher.
Yes, it is. I always suggest pouring water on it. Like just, you should have a fire extinguisher, correct?
Yeah. We do have one right next to our laser as well.
But if it's small, you can pour some water on it. It's fine.
And the nice thing is, like above, the laser head and above is where all the electronics are. Like there's not really any electronics below it.
No, I've had a fire and it didn't ruin anything, but it did have so much heat on the nose cone that the lens cracked.
Ooh.
So, and that was my fault because the air compressor failed because something fell onto it on the air compressor and it overheated.
Gotcha.
So that was all my fault.
Whoops.
It happens.
It does.
Hopefully, me messing up, you can avoid doing the same thing. So look forward to more how-tos.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to have that video done and complete with the end product hopefully Friday, right?
Yeah, it should be Friday. I mean, we just have a couple more things to do, like pour some chocolate tonight, which I don't have any problem with,
Yeah.
Obviously. So,
better bring in enough for the class.
I will. I want to make a huge batch of Walker bars and just, hand them out.
That'd be awesome.
Make
like wrappers and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we're making wrappers.
Heck yeah.
Yo, dog. No. So I think if you guys have any ideas for future, lessons, how-tos, if you want to learn how to do something, if there's something that's, you're having issues with, please let us know. We'll make a video about it and help you out because we do this every day.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. Subscribe, like, share, be our friends. And until next time,
keep making.
Hey there guys, thanks for watching. If you click here, you can subscribe to our channel, or if you click over this way, you can check out some other videos that we've...